How are you? Welcome, welcome. Let me bring in my screen a little bit closer. So we are going to have some fun playing with this stamp set called Under the Moon today. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds. I'm going to pull you up on my tablet. Make sure I am seeing you okay. Where are my groups? Here I am. And there I am. All right. Hopefully I won't have any issues going forward like I have in the past. Hey Julie, how are you? You guys can see me okay? Did I freeze already? I think I actually froze already. This is crazy. I'm gonna undo this and try it again. All right, here I am. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, since here, hello. Yes, there are dolphins. Hi, Brianna. Hello, Debbie and Chris. Welcome. Okay. Thank you all for joining me tonight at tonight's Create and Craft session. As you can tell, I am calling it something new, something different, right? I'm going to have fun with this stamp set tonight. So to give you a heads up, your creative challenge is going to be a sunset or a sunrise. But we're going to play with this. I'm going to show you a few examples. I had fun playing with it. Some of the items I'm not that crazy about, but some of I am. If I have a chance, so we're going to do 2 cards tonight using this. But I want you guys to also think outside the box because this can also be used for scrapbooking. And we'll talk through some of those ideas. But before I do that, I am going to show you remake of a paper pumpkin kit that I did. So you guys know I have a private exclusive paper pumpkin club that I hope you guys will all join me on. I started out with the May, but we have some older kits out there, right? That we've gotten, and I'm not quite sure if I got this in my starter kit. So when we joined with Stampin' Up, we got starter kits, but I've bought so many different ones from older ones that I'm not quite sure if this is the one I got. But let me show you. So I'm going to put this aside and show you what I've done with this. And if you want to learn how to make these, I'm going to do the demo on the private exclusive group. So, all right, so here are some cards that I made. But these 3 cards are actually what the kit is. Let me see here. All right, so these 3 cards. Oh, maybe I can move that over this way. Yep, there you guys can see them. These are what the card kit made, right? So you would make 3 of each of these. It comes with everything. Like I said, you get the little ink spot, the dies. This came with some foil, tags, and so forth, the adhesive, the double-sided tape, the dimensionals, everything, right? So those are standard. This is what this kit made, but I took the extra pieces and expanded on it. So I'm going to show you 3 additional cards that I created. And I have to say, so I did add honey butter cardstock to this, and I added, and I might not have had to, I actually added the cardstock, that new cardstock frost that Close to My Heart came out with. I added that to here, but if you look at the back side of this card base, so this is part of the card base, right? I could have trimmed this and put it on a regular card base and used that. I would not have had to use the cardstock, if that makes sense. But anyways, so I did do that, but this is a fun fold card. So I created that with, so I did have to use White Daisy cardstock to create and score that. So I will be doing that live and showing you guys how to create that. And in addition to that, I created, I'm gonna have to bring this in, hold on. A double page layout with this. So again, I did use obviously the White Daisy cardstock. I used the Frost cardstock here, but everything else, these are Cricut cuts, everything else came with the kit. So really enjoyed making this. Oh, I shouldn't say, I added this gold foil to that also. So again, very fun. I love changing it up. I have a couple more kits to be doing it, and I'm also going to do it with the brown box kits. I call them the brown box kits, but I'm also going to be doing something with those as well in this group. So again, just wanted to give you a sneak peek. I will be doing this on the exclusive page, so those that you have who have joined already, waiting for my other kit to come ahead, order a second kit so I can walk you through it. So but that is it. Exciting. So let's get started with our Under the Moon. Let me see if I have any comments here. Hey Judy, hey Becky. All right, so here's some of the cards that we're going to make tonight. This is one fairly simple. And then here's the other one that we're going to make. Right now, I also created this card as well. Now, I like it, but I'm not loving it. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I could change up the colors, but I'm going to walk you through how I did this, so you may like the way I did it. And I actually like the technique. I do like the technique. So I'm just going to walk you through this before I get the other cards out. So I just took a piece of cardstock, cut it at 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it would go on top of my card base. I actually stamped and used this as a frame around here, as you can see, right? Taped this down and then did the ink blending on it, and then it gave a frame to it. I don't know. There was just something about it. I really do like the technique, but I'm not a huge fan of it, so I'm not showing you this. So if you like this idea, you just cut a 1/2 inch around inside, gut it. I call it gutting. And then you would tape it down here, and you can do that, okay? So that is that. So then other cards, all right? So I'm gonna go with the more challenging one, per se, and it's not really that challenging. So again, this is only a stamp set. It does not come with dies. So it came on a carrier. This is the thicker part, so I'm just covering that up. I keep that to protect my stamps, but here are most of them in here. I'm just going to put that aside here, and I am just going to start ink blending. And the colors that I am going to use for the most part for the blending, I believe, is going to be a mixture of the Glacier and the Lagoon. So let me get my blending brushes out here. And I'm pretty much going to ink blend all of this around, but I'm not going to try to get this center part in here. And then we're going to mask it once I do stamp that in there. And as always, I'm just going to hold this down. I probably should get my paper towel. Now you can do this with, obviously, your Stampin' Up! Ink pads. I haven't invested in all of the colors yet. I think I am going to end up just going forward and getting the stamp pads, because I'm not quite sure when they're coming out. It might be a while. But I am going to take this, and I always start off, that's why I'm using my all-purpose mat, and just going to start blending it in. And again, right now, I'm just going to go pretty much around the edges. And I love how, as you pull this off and onto your cardstock, how it emphasizes the edges of the cardstock. Yep, I hear the thunder coming in. We're supposed to be getting a huge thunderstorm. So hopefully I won't get cut off here. We do need the rain. But again, so you can use, obviously your Stampin' Up! Ink pads. You could use distressed oxides too. After I started and had everything set up, I'm like, oh, I should have played with the distressed oxides. I have not done that in such a long time. All right, so there's that. I am gonna bring in a little bit of Lagoon up towards the top. So as you can see, I'm doing this a little bit different from a color standpoint. All right, let's close these up and set these aside for now. And let's get, I'm gonna do the half, I don't know if this is the moon or the sun coming up. You figure out what you want it to be. I'm gonna call this a sunrise for the most part. And I am gonna take the honey butter. And I wanna make sure that I can get a good impression. So I'm just gonna put my foam underneath that. I have some foams from my other stamp sets. And I think what I want to do here is add a little bit of depth into this. So this does have some shadowing in the stamp set. It does have lots of detail. But I am taking the Sundance and I am just gonna add some extra ink to the top here. All right, not much. And I am going to place this right here about the center, pressing that down. Okay, there we go. I held that a little bit longer so you see a little bit of the emphasis. I could have probably put a little bit more on there. And this is Sundance cover. And the honey butter. So I'm gonna just take my, clean off my station here a little bit, and let's add the water part. So I am gonna take it, and I'm always gonna go with a lighter color first. This way here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm covering that all with Glacier, and then I'm gonna take the Journey that's a little bit more bluer. I'm daubing it in You guys can see that. Let me bring this in here. Sometimes when I go so close up, you guys can't see it. And I am kind of like rub it on the edges here. And then I should be able to line that up, fingers crossed here. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. All right. And voila. Here we got some additional depth to that. So perfect. Let me clean off my stamps here with my chamois. Close this up so I don't stick my arm in it. All right, so we have that. So now I definitely want to add more color around this. So I am just gonna hold this here. I'm going to take my glacier and just color it in more. And just masking it so I'm not gonna get it into the sun area. Right? Pretty, so pretty. Okay. And, oh, let's add some clouds to this. All right, so the stamp set has a couple of variety of clouds. I'm gonna add it to my block here. And I am actually gonna do this in, because I blended this isn't gonna be as dark. So I am actually gonna use the glacier. I could probably do the lagoon, but I'm gonna stick with the glacier, masking that and making those clouds come behind. There we go. And we'll do one up here, which I did not need the masking at all for that. All right, and some scratch paper here, off. And let's get the other cloud. We'll do one of the smaller clouds over here and we will mask that. So I just want to also give you guys a heads up that I am probably going to start doing some videos throughout the week. We're going to keep our create, craft, and create on Thursdays, but I'm going to go on my business page and do some live videos there, and just do some quick little tutorials on there, unannounced. I'm not going to have it planned to say watch me here, but so keep an eye out on my business page, which is Anne-Marie Julian Wetzel, a Stampin' Up demonstrator. Okay, so I'm going to put this here. And we're just going to do a little bit of a masking there. There we go. Love it. Love it, love it. I hope you guys do too. But it's fun actually adding the ink to that extra edge there and adding a variety of color to that. All right, so now let's add the sailboat. Or should we do the dolphins on this one? Maybe we'll do the dolphins on this one. How's that? All right. So there are two dolphins. There's a single dolphin and then there's a double dolphin. We'll do both on this one. I am not seeing your comments anymore for some reason. I'm actually seeing you guys live, but I cannot see your comments. So who knows? Gotta love Facebook. All right. I am gonna stamp it here first, make sure I got some good coverage. And there we go. And let's do a single one. So I promise I will go back and look at your comments and answer any questions. I truly apologize that for some reason I am not seeing it. Maybe I can bring this back up. Yeah, I don't know why. Now I've lost you totally. Hold on one second. I gotta at least see myself. One of these days I'll get it right. All right, there I am. All right, see, Brianna likes dolphins. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. All right, so let's do a single dolphin here too and add this. All right. All right, so we have that, and I use sapphire for the dolphins. All right, so let's, do I want to do this one? I think I'm going to actually do the honey butter background on this. Ooh. Whew. Good thing I cleaned up my surface, or I could have had ink on the back, or on the front, actually. All right, so the mat for this, I just cut it at 1/4 of an inch. So this piece that we colored in, this is 3 3/4 by 5, and then I did 1/8 of an inch around, larger for the background. And let me grab some bases. And here we go. So then I got a white base around that. And let's put our sentiment on. Need thank you cards. So and I'm going to do it up here. A simple thanks. Here we go. How do you like that? Okay. All right, so let's see if we can do, we should have enough time to do this other one right here. Like I said, this is a more simple one, but again, I just want to show you the simplicity of this stamp set. So again, I am going to do the honey butter. And this is the sample we're working off of. So definitely going to do this one first. And you know what? Let's try to do that Sundance orange tone around here a little bit more. Let's get some more ink on this. I it's really hard to see, but let's see how it comes out. And I am just going to try to do it in the center there. There we go. You can see the little extra of that. And then let's bring in our water. And this time, instead of doing the journey, let's do the glacier and the lagoon. Again, I'm going to start out with the glacier. I lost you guys again. I just got to keep my hands off of it. All right, here we go. Oh, before I put that down, let's add some lagoon to our edges here. And I'm going to try to go I want to try to get a small edge here. I don't know if I'll be able to get that. And line this up. There we go. And I did get that little edge there. So, not as dark as the journey, but I'm liking it. So. All right. Clean that off. And basically, that's it, right? So, oh, you know what? Let's put the... Instead of the dolphins, let's do the sailboat on this one. So, and I'm going to do that also in sapphire. I could do it in black also. Black would also be a good choice to use. Because this is such a darker color, we can just do it right here. All right, and then I'm going to get the stamp set that says "You Make Me Happy." I have these old stamp sets here. I have not been able to, but I actually have some in my order that'll be coming. I'm getting some nice sentiments. But we can never have enough sentiments because, you know, it's always the length, the font. I don't know, that's the way I see it. I always have to have different. But. All right, and let's do, again, "You Make Me Happy." I'm doing that in the sapphire. All right. Voila. This is my card base. And I am going to do this also. So again, very, very simple, but I think elegant card. Putting this on Journey cardstock. And then I'm actually going to pop this up. This here I have popped with 3D foam. So that's what I'm going to do on here. I'm going to pop this card up. And usually I do kind of a Z. So, all right, so again, your creative session is going to be your creative challenge, I should say, is going to be to create a sunset or a sunrise. Now, let's talk about your options here and how to do this, because you don't have this particular stamp set, right? You can easily just take a round die circle and use that, or you cut it as a negative, right? So you're going to take a piece of cardstock, cut the hole, and then you can color in that as your sunset, right? Or you can just color, ink it. It cannot be just yellow cardstock. You have to ink your image, right? And then think about this. If you wanted to do it as a layout, so we often used to use picture my life cards or journaling, right? To create a visual on a layout. You can easily do that, right? And so instead of putting a picture there, create it so it could be like a journaling card, and you could have your sunset and then have it as a journaling card. So it doesn't have to be a card per se of a sunset or a sunrise. You can use it as a layout and create and design something to put on a layout versus a card. Okay, so that is the creative activity for the week. You have till next Thursday to complete it. Yesterday was the deadline for the Father's Day. I think we got maybe 8 people who participated, but let me bring these out here again. So these are the ones that we created tonight. And then this is what I previously created, just to show you the difference of it, right? So hope you guys are loving it. Let me know if you do have any questions. I will go back and read it. Hope you enjoyed tonight's creative activity, and I will be hopefully seeing you live on my business page over the weekend. So ciao for now. Bye.